Do I still hate Emerson's? Yeah. If you're wearing on headphones, turn down the volume, because here comes the music. So I have seen that the video that I did about Emerson's, where I say that in my opinion Emerson's are just crap, has gotten a lot of hate, but I did have a few people tell me, have you seen some of the newer ones? And I said, not really, not that interested. I did get one that came into Elliott's. Now this is not a newer one, but this definitely has some better fit and finish, but it's still not great. We're gonna take a look at it. I just am not a fan of these knives. And the main reason is, I know they said that they've moved away from this double detent that they had before, but I've done everything I can with this knife to actually give it some sort of detent. It's basically like it's like a thumb stud operated, like a, I don't know what you would call it. It's got like a traditional knife feel. Like there's no detent. There is no detent holding that closed. Let me show you. It just falls right open. I don't like the way it feels. I don't like the action on it. And I tried everything I could do to tighten down the action on this. And I did take it apart. I did change the detent on the outside of this, and nothing worked. There is no detent. It's just, it doesn't even feel like they act like the detent balls actually drop into a hole. You can hear it click, but it just doesn't feel like there's next to nothing there. Like you could pretty much breathe on that. So let's go ahead and take a look at it top down. And I'm gonna get some hate about this. I just don't like these knives, and I'll show you why, because I still don't think, even though they have stepped up their game, and fit and finish on this blade is a lot better. It's an attractive looking knife. I do like the blade shape. I just can't do it. I just cannot buy one of these knives, and I'll show you why. So, now I know a lot of you guys are gonna say, oh, you're too critical. This is one of the few knives that I'm super, super critical about, mainly because the price on this for what you get, guys, this is a brick in hand. Look at that. Nothing is contoured. This G10 is super, super grippy. That is a horrible, basic off-the-shelf pocket clip. When you start getting into knives that cost $200, I expect a lot more. Now, I do know they're American made. Now, a lot of guys love Emerson knives, and I'm not faulting that. I know people like them. And like I said, this is not an unattractive knife. I do not dislike this blade grind. And the blade is done really well. It's everything else. Like if you were to take this blade and give it to me in a different handle, I would probably be really happy. But everything on this is sharp and uncomfortable and thick and awkward feeling. That pocket clip is just, it's the worst. I hate these pocket clips. You see a lot of knives that have these pocket clips, and it's one of the things I don't like. It is uncomfortable in hand. It's too sharp here and it's too broad. It's clear up into this part. You can see the red spot. It's clear up into that part of my hand. When I get that knife in hand, you can see where that pocket clip is like leaving red spots and digging into my hand. So this knife is attractive. Like I said, blade wise, that's an attractive blade shape. The blade grind and everything was done well. All the sharpening is done well. This knife is really sharp, but once again, it is their standard V grind blade with a chiseled edge. I don't like that. I'm like, if you're gonna give me a V ground blade, please just go to the trouble of doing a V grind, because a lot of people can't sharpen those. And I don't like sharpening them because they just never come out quite the way you want. I've sharpened a bunch of them. I can get them really sharp. I can. For the average person, that's gonna be really hard. It's gonna be a pain, especially if you're using a fixtured system, to get that angle and then to knock your burr off the other side. But just simple things like, guys, at $209, I don't expect to see it dialed in where it looks like, oh, just came off the grinder, just came off the belt sander, and I'm still seeing teeth marks from the jigsaw, the bandsaw. More, you can see it really here. That's bandsaw marks. That's where this was just cut out. And then, like I said, super thick, it's inconsistent with how the liner sits in there. It's just, like I said, guys, for blade centering's good on this, but the big thing is, no matter what I've done, there is no detent. I can swing this open. And I'm not gonna lie to you guys, I have a couple knives that have a waveable feature, a wave style feature, not like this, that works so much better than this. This does not. I've had this thing in and out of pocket a couple times, just come partway open, and then you're left with this. I don't like it. I don't think it's safe. So do I still hate Emerson knives? I don't hate them. They're an American company that could really be knocking it out of the park if they just tried. And then, like I said, I'm not gonna lie to you, I hate the idea of this hardware. I do understand that every multi-tool, this is based on somebody that's out in the field with only a multi-tool. I do know every multi-tool does have a Phillips head screwdriver, and that's gonna make your life a little easier in the field if you have to take this knife apart. But I'm telling you right now, these screws strip out. Phillips heads are famous for stripping out. You can see where this one has already got the flatheads. Flatheads strip out even more than Phillips heads, in my opinion. And you can already see where it's starting to get some wear marks and stuff like that from having a bit driver or a screwdriver in it. So let's turn it around and let me give you my last thoughts on it. Nick Shabazz did a video about this exact same knife. And I didn't realize it until I had gotten this and I was getting ready to do the video, that he had done one. And he said something that I wholeheartedly agree with. This is a really nice design. This really is a good design. You get a lot of good features. It's just really poorly executed. There's nothing wrong with the overall design of this knife, but at $200, I expect a lot more out of a knife. And so with this being a tactical knife, everybody's like, oh, it's tactical. It's supposed to be, well, great. Here's the thing. This is a tactical knife that was at $157. And if you look at this, everything about this is so much better. Action, lockup, in hand. This is so much better. So much better. The profile, all of that. So you can do it. You can do it. And everybody's like, well, they're an American-made company. It's going to make it more expensive. I was like, that's great. I would pay for one of these knives if it actually had detent and did not feel, I hate to say this because people get mad when I say it. This feels like an M-Tech. I could buy a knife that feels and looks almost identical to this knife for $15 on Wish. And if you think I'm wrong, go take a look. M-Tech has been making knives that look like this. They're really bad. They just are really badly executed. And the fact is, they could do so much better. When you look at how well the blade is done versus everything from the pivot down. This is like a chick that has a really cute face, and then from the neck down, she just looks like a swamp donkey. That's what I equate this to. Got a really cute face, and just a body that's just all beat up and wrecked. That's the way this is. Everything from the pivot up is great. That's a great blade. That's a great design. Thumb studs. The thumb studs are almost perfect. Everything about the blade is just about perfect. Everything about everything else is the exact opposite of that. So I don't want you guys to think I'm just bagging on it. I would love to see an Emerson come in that was great. And I have seen some of the newer ones that are done a little bit better. The fit and finish is a little bit better, but still in hand, they're not good in hand. Everything about this knife, when I grab a hold of it, to quote Nick Shabazz again, it feels like I've got a handful of hornets. Everything about this is hot. And I'm not gonna lie to you, in and out of pocket, this thing is dangerous. It will come out of your pocket and come partway open, even if you don't intend to, because it doesn't have detent. And if you tighten it down any more than I've got it right now, it doesn't open at all. You got to fight with it. It's like a two-hand opener. So, bagging on Emerson knives, I guess you could say I am. Emerson fanboys, I don't want you to think that that's all I'm doing. I would love to see one of these come out and have it be better. They say, oh, well, you just don't know how to use knives. Guys, I make knives. And I carry all kinds of knives. And in my pocket at any given time could be $1,000 knife, and I hard use it. I hard use everything. Everything my knives, all of my knives get used for anything I happen to be doing. I hammered one of my personal knives through 1 millimeter copper wire because I couldn't find a set of wire cutters anywhere. I needed it for inlays, and so I was pounding a knife through copper wire just because I couldn't find the wire cutters. And I just didn't want to wait anymore. So yes, do I treat my knives like crap? Yeah. Would I carry this knife and try to do the things with this knife that I do with others? No, I don't trust it. So if anything, this knife is not as hard to use as some of my other knives. So I'm bending to the will of people that said I should revisit Emerson knives. I did, and until somebody sends me one that is a really good, not a custom, a really good showing from Emerson, I'm just gonna leave it at that. That Emerson knives are not for me, and I only do these videos because I think that you deserve to know before you just blindly fly into the SEALs carry them. I disagree. If anybody could make that claim, Leatherman can. I've never met a spec war. I've never met anybody that was Special Forces that did not carry at least one Leatherman. I've never really met too many people that in spec war that carry in the Special Forces that carry one of these. So that being said, guys, if you like them, that's fine. I personally just see them being a little bit pricey, overpriced and underwhelming is what I would say. So guys, I love you all. Please don't get upset about this. Like I said, this is just my opinion. I just like to put this out in case other people feel the same. Like, other people deserve to know about my issues with this knife. I think as a consumer, you deserve to not just fly into something blindly. That's why I'm honest about all these reviews. I don't get special items sent to me. If there's a flaw with a knife, as you either already have seen or will see with the Civivi knife, there's issues with that knife and I call it out, even though I love We Knife Company and they produced my knives. There's some issues with some of the CJRBs that I've seen that I will address, especially this one that's going to be a giveaway. So, love you guys. Take it easy. There's stuff in the corners. I love you all, and I'll see you in the next video.